Hey guys, welcome back again to Dave's Dimension. Welcome back again for another video. Welcome back again to the channel. This is your home for tech, toys, and talk. And of course, the channel where chaos and insanity will always reign supreme. I want to welcome you guys back again. This one's going to be a little bit of a talking video. Now, those who know me know I am a big fan of Doctor Who. And after a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit of a shaking up, if you will, Doctor Who is back on our screens. Well, more specifically, Disney Plus. Yeah, that's right. Over the past several years, Chris Chibnall and his writing staff, I'm not going to get negative, but they kind of took Doctor Who down a certain path. And mostly, when people ask me what do I think of Jodie Whittaker and her tenure as Doctor Who, I always say she is a brilliant actress, and I think the writing was the culprit for the most part. Well, lo and behold, Jodie Whittaker wrapped up her tenure as Doctor Who, or as the Doctor, I should say, and we were treated to suddenly a massive surprise of her regenerating to the face and also the clothes of David Tennant, aka the 10th Doctor, now the 14th Doctor. A completely different outfit, a slightly different Doctor, but we're getting that essence of the 10th Doctor back. And today, by the way, this is being recorded on November 25th, 2023, we got the first of three specials with David Tennant and Catherine Tate. That's right, the Doctor and Donna are back. This episode blew me away. I hadn't seen anything that got me this emotional, this ramped up, this affected since Peter Capaldi and his penultimate episode. This was an episode for the ages. The Chosen One, Russell T Davies, is back. The showrunner, or the man, the myth, the legend himself, who brought back Doctor Who back in 2005 with Christopher Eccleston. He did not miss a damn beat. This video is going to be mostly just my reactions, my honest opinions, my thoughts watching this. And as we speak, my wife is actually watching it for the second time. It just blew me away. I mean, was there a minute where things seemed kind of slow and dull? No, not one bit. David Tennant slides back into the role of the Doctor. I'm not going to say the 10th Doctor because he's the 14th Doctor. There are shades of his number 10, but he is, he's got a little difference to him. The way he plays this Doctor, I mean, we see the TARDIS appear in London, and right away he actually runs into Donna Noble. Well, she doesn't know who he is because, he did the little mind block so that she could not remember him for umpteen years. He quickly finds out that she has a daughter who happens to be named Rose. Very interesting. Obviously, part of Donna's past, or at least her time with the Doctor, is in her mind subconsciously, but she's just not fully aware of it. We catch up on Donna, her life, her husband, their child, and also, obviously, we run into Sylvia, Donna's mother, and Donna's daughter kind of comes across this creature. I don't want to spoil much, but it is vintage Who. I mean, we get one alien, we get another set of aliens, and it's chaos and insanity which reigns supreme, and that's my slogan. So this was just the best episode ever. We get David Tennant. He still doesn't know why why the Doctor generated back to this face. He still doesn't know. By the end of the episode, he still doesn't know. But this is a Doctor who, the fact that he returns to London, he comes across Donna right away, and everything kind of keeps bringing him back to Donna, and that is making him, to me, I was getting shades of the Doctor towards the end of the 10th Doctor's time, where at at the end of David Tennant's original 10 years of the Doctor, at first he was this youthful, energetic, kind of goofy at times, oblivious to certain things, Doctor. But by the end of his tenure, he was, I don't want to say battle hardened because the Doctor has always been battle hardened, but David Tennant's number 10, he went through a lot of loss. He had to say goodbye to Rose multiple times. He got to see her get her happy ending with, the Metacrisis Doctor. He got to see her have her happy ending, but he had to say goodbye to her twice. Of course, there's well, the year of hell that Martha and her family went through. The Doctor has seen so much throughout his his many, many, many lifetimes, but he saw all the pain and hurt that being a companion to the Doctor. He saw the hurt, the pain that his companions get, but also always the realization that he's going to outlive all of his companions. The Doctor would love nothing more to establish a family or to establish a long-standing friendship, but being the Doctor, that's not a reality. I mean, the Doctor can live for thousands, if not millions of years. His companions might only live, 30, 40 years, or 50 or 60 or 80 if they're lucky. We get to see that regret of the Doctor, that he knew that Donna Noble wouldn't have been in the situation that she was in if she hadn't met the Doctor. The threat that if she remembers him, that essence of the vortex, that essence of everything that makes a Time Lord, would awaken in her and basically destroy her. And that's something that he did not want to do. She meets him and he's avoiding telling her who he is, because he knows one mention, one word, and it's all over for her. And that he's avoiding that. I mean, he comes to the realization that, she was his best friend. There's a monologue that he does where he actually talks about, how she is brilliant, how she was this amazing person, and even how he feels towards her. And it is just riveting. It is hard hitting. It's mind blowing. It's the Doctor pulling back the curtain and kind of like showing how much it hurts to be him and how it must hurt to be near him. That's why, he's the oncoming storm. He's fire, he's ice, he's everything. Okay, and at this episode, I mean, we get Unit involved. We get a name drop of Kate Lethbridge Stewart, of course. I mean, we get a new scientific lead for Unit, who happens to be in a wheelchair, and I don't think this is the last we're going to see of her. And she had a nice little banter going between her and the Doctor, so that was pretty awesome. Usually we see the scientific leads who get all fanboy around the Doctor. She was not. She was cool, content. I want to see more of this character, and I think we are going to see a lot more. Maybe during Tennant's next 2 episodes, or maybe even with our 15th Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with him. The fact that Russell T Davies is back, he's running the show, he's got his writers back. I mean, this first episode alone, it's the mic drop of all mic drops. Okay, one, we see that a Doctor can revisit their face, and it seems like his personality is there. He's not being the goofy kind of person that he once was. He was being the Doctor the way the Doctor was towards the end of the 10th Doctor was towards the end of his tenure. The writing in here was great. Now, some people, I know people in the world look at the world in black and white sometimes. They look at it in binary, ones and zeros, A and B's. This episode dealt with a topic that I think, it should be accepted, and we should see more of this. We find out that Donna's daughter, Rose, was actually not born female. She's transgender. And I think, hey, this is common. This is not something that should be considered taboo. Some people might consider it taboo, but you know what? I'll say this to you. Screw you. Get off your ass. Look out the window. Look at the world. The world is not black and white. It is not A and B. The world is plentiful. Okay? And I think we should see more of this. I mean, hell, American television has been getting more into this. We see transgender characters all the time. Hell, a few years ago on CW's Supergirl show, before it wrapped up, it had introduced a character, Dreamer, who is a transgender hero. So we should see more of this. I think it shouldn't matter whether a person is transgender or not. It depends on the content of their character. So, I mean, it's something that should be common, okay? I've already seen some people posting on social medias commenting, well, why do we need this type of character? It's not this type of character, okay? There is no type of character. You may be asking, what is this character about? Hey, it doesn't matter what the character is about. I could definitely see Rose being a potential companion somewhere down the line. I mean, she's the daughter of Donna Noble, so she can she can hold her own against anybody out there, okay? And I could definitely see potential of her being revisited somewhere down the line. It's a stepping stone, because Russell T Davies, he's that person that will sprinkle breadcrumbs and we'll get a payoff later on in time. So with that being said, I mean, the character of Rose, she's caring. She's all the brightest parts of Donna. Okay. And the fact that she's a teenager. She's smart. She's caring. She comes across this small creature, and she all she wants to do is to try and protect it, to help it. She doesn't have not one negative bone in her body, and I think that's because of the adversity that she faces. So, I think this is a great character. I'm more than welcoming this character into the Whoviverse. I mean, just hey, bring it. I think we should have more of this because, hell, Doctor Who has always embraced this. If you think about it, at its core, we've had straight, we've had gay, we have omnisexual. Captain Jack. He doesn't discriminate. I mean, it's always been. Doctor Who is not about whether someone is this way or that way. The Doctor has always been about truth and about, everyone. I mean, come on. We started off with a kind of a revered kind of cadre person who, not always the easiest to get along, but the Doctor was always about truth and about helping people, no matter who they were, what they look like, where they're from. It was always about equality, to a sense, all the way back to 1963. This is the 60th anniversary. It's about time, we move forward with this and embrace it. At least that's my personal opinion. Going back to the show. I know I went on a tangent there, guys, like I always do. The Doctor, of course, when the Doctor regenerated from Whittaker to David Tennant's, we saw something we've never seen before. The Doctor regenerated not just in face and body, but in clothes, which is weird. It makes me suspect something otherworldly is going on here. We've never seen the Doctor regenerate clothes. We've always seen the Doctor pass from one outfit to the next. We've seen. We saw Capaldi when he regenerated into Whittaker. She was wearing his clothes still. But we didn't get that this time around, which I thought was a little weird. I'm not sure why. Who knows? Maybe we will get a canonical explanation to this. Maybe this is some evolution. Because after 11, After 11's days, he was blessed with a new regeneration cycle, but we don't know what kind of effect that can have on the Time Lord over time. I wasn't trying to be funny when I said that. Um, this could be something to do with maybe a Time Lord evolving even more. Maybe new abilities or developing something. We don't know. The Doctor also gets a very new, awesome, updated sonic screwdriver. Now, this sonic, I mean, the Doctor, at one point, he's trying to analyze things. He takes out his sonic, right? And he basically is creating a line, makes a rectangular box, activates something else on it, and then he's got like a heads-up display. He's got a virtual screen. He's sitting in a steel mill, and he's analyzing signals and detecting things. And it's like, okay, the Sonic can create a heads-up display now. Later on in the episode, there's some bad guys attacking Donna and her family, and the Doctor is trying to find a way to save them and to get them to safety. Well, again, he takes out his Sonic, he carves out a large panel, and creates a force field. So now the Doctor can create force fields with the sonic screwdriver. Now, they weren't permanent force fields. They wore down over time. But this new screwdriver, which I'm going to throw a picture of it right there, it looks awesome. You can find it on some websites to purchase. It's not cheap, but it looks very sleek, very stylish. It's got a little reminiscent of, a little reminiscent of 10's Sonic, of 11's Sonic, and maybe a little bit of 12's in there. Thank God we don't have that. I'm sorry, I was not a fan of the Sonic that Jodie, the 13th Doctor, had. I'm not going to say what it looked like. It was just terrible. It was terrible, beyond terrible, at least in my personal opinion. It wasn't my screwdriver, let's just say. Okay? I was not a fan of it, but regardless, this new one looks fantastic. We got these metallic silver accents on it, and it's all chromed and polished. It looks fantastic. Fantastic. It blew me away. I loved the episode. The Doctor, he's on a mission to do whatever he has to do to protect Donna. And let's just say, it comes to a head, and truths are said, and new realities are realized, come to fruition. What we thought would happen, or what we think is going to happen, doesn't quite happen the way that we think it's going to happen, and that's Doctor Who at its best. We also get a taste of, we get to see the TARDIS. The TARDIS's interior rebuilt itself on its own again. You gotta love it. I mean, way back when we had the Doctor's Wife episode, David Tennant, or not David Tennant, Matt Smith, when the TARDIS was put in a humanoid body, and they have to find their way back to the TARDIS together, the essence of the TARDIS, that is. And she mentions that, I have this desktop archived. I have about, I think she said at the time, maybe 30 or so. But he says, I've only redesigned it about half a dozen times yet. But this new interior is mind-blowing, guys. It makes, every time we hear that the TARDIS is bigger on the inside, this new console, this new interior is bigger in scope than, I think the largest we've ever seen was Paul McGann's TARDIS interior from the Enemy Within, the Fox produced TV series TV movie that was a one-off. That was probably the grandest interior. Well, technically it was McCoy and McGann's for that one special, that one movie. That was probably the largest in scope, and this one takes it there. I mean, when you watch it, you're gonna see. I mean, any kind of descriptions I give are not gonna give it justice. The main console is a mixture of Capaldi and Capaldi's So the 12th, the 11th, and the 10th Doctors is kind of an amalgamation of some of those controls with some new upgrades. But those upgrades don't last long because an accident happens and the TARDIS uh, goes away, dematerializes, unlike we've ever seen it before. Now, I could sit here and I could give you play by play by play through the entire episode. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you that this is a Doctor Who that we have not seen in a very, very, very long time. Now, not every series is perfectly a home run. No. Again, going back to the 13th Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, she's an amazing actress. I think the vision that Chibnall had was he was trying to reinvent Doctor Who to make it his own, but he maybe went a little too far. At least that's an opinion of mine. That's my personal opinion. Yours may definitely vary for me. It probably does. I just did not. I think whenever I see amazing actors, amazing shows, and suddenly they make a left turn, they turn left. I'm sure you'll appreciate that. They turn left, and it's something like, what you might be saying to yourself, why are you doing this? This doesn't feel right. And as me and my wife watched this episode, she cheered at David Tennant's frustration, at his anger, at his fear in this episode, because that she says, see, that's what was missing. Even my wife had the opinion that the writers were the ones who screwed up at least during the Chibnall time, that it was the writers' fault for maybe the direction of the show. Personally, I look at it as Chibnall and the writers. That Whittaker's portrayal of the Doctor was missing the was missing the collective fear, or the collective anger and frustration and resentment that the Doctor always carried. The Doctor for many years thought that he was the last of the Time Lords, thought that, he was the one that destroyed Gallifrey, that he was the one who ended the Time War, and all these lives were gone because of him. That anger, that hatred towards himself, that self-loathing, that shared frustration was not there during Whittaker's time. Not really. She was all like, hey, let's do this, fam. I mean, I get they're trying to create a more upbeat Doctor, maybe a Doctor who was renewed, and trying to take another look at life in a different perspective. Someone who's trying to embrace life, who is maybe kind of done with the darkness, kind of done with the anger, kind of done with the frustration. But, for whatever path it took, and my wife was like, it's a shame that that Jodie didn't get a better shot at her time as the Doctor. And I said, well, you never know. Jodie could come back. I mean, we got David Tennant back. We even had we had Baker appear as the curator, and he even told Matt Smith, number 11. He says, you might find yourself revisiting some of your old phases, but just the favorites. So, I mean, hey, I would love to see Whittaker come back. I would love to see, another Doctor special where maybe it's her, Matt, Peter, and David, maybe 4 or 5 of them together. It would be great to see them on screen together at once, not just like a single image or single revival here and there. I've always said that. I mean, it's great on her penultimate episode where her past selves were there, But it would be great if we had like a joint adventure, kind of like they did years ago during the original run. I would love to see David Tennant, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, and of course, Jodie Whittaker, and we could have them teamed up with, Ncuti Gatwa, and you could have a new version of the 5 Doctors. I mean, there's a lot we can do out there. This episode is a total home run. I don't want to give away too many spoilers. I know I gave away some information already, but honestly, hearing someone say something in passing is completely different from actually seeing it on the screen. Like I said, my wife's watching the episode for a second time. The music was amazing. David Tennant did not miss a beat. He is still an amazing actor, and he brings a slightly different Doctor here, and he still doesn't know why he's back to his face. What I think is, I don't know the exact reason, but when 11 regenerated into 12, he said to himself, "Who frowned me this face?" He looks at a puddle of water, or a water in a barrel, and says, "Why did I choose this face?" And of course, in a later episode, he remembers why. And so, we'll see what happens with that. We will definitely see what happens with that, because, Capaldi realized that the reason why he regenerated to that face was, it was a bit of a promise. A promise that no matter where he is, whatever fate, terror, enemy he faces, that he needs to remember to at least try to save someone. Maybe not try and save every single person out there, but to at least make the attempt to trying to save someone, and not just walk away, not just give up. So this was an awesome episode. How would I rate this? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 14. This is an amazing episode, and yes, I am going to review the next episode, which happens on next week. Now, you heard me say Disney Plus. Basically in the UK, it's still being aired on, I believe, BBC One, but everywhere else it is streaming on Disney Plus. Disney Plus is the international streaming home for new content of Doctor Who. Now, past episodes. Now, if you're a fan of 2005 all the way up to the end of Jodie Whittaker, those episodes can be simply found on Max right now. That is the formerly HBO Max, now known as Max streaming service. Now, as far as rights for older episodes, I don't know. It'd be great if Disney became the international home of all the episodes. Of course, you can look on Tubi and all those other streaming services. You might find loose episodes here and there. But hey, we'll see what happens in the future. But guys, no pun intended there. But this was a fantastic episode. Definitely check it out if you have some time. It is an amazing episode. You can watch it over and over again. It just hits all the right buttons, all the right moves, all the right words, and just awesome. It is awesome, guys. But guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't, let me know in the comment section below. If you have your own thoughts or opinions about this recent Doctor Who episode, drop it in the comment section below, or you can always message me. My Instagram is right up there at Daves_Dimension. And of course, you can always email me at davesdimension78@gmail.com in case you want to make a suggestion for a future episode. You want to, help contribute in some shape or form, or maybe you want to do a team up sometime in the future reviewing Doctor Who or anything and everything that's out there. But guys, also, if you want to help contribute to the channel, there's also our PayPal right there at Dave's Dimension. But guys, until next time, this is Dave from Dave's Dimension saying keep on busting, and I'm always going to catch you on the flip side. Take care.